Imagine you just bought a brand new car for $20,000. Have you ever wondered how much of that price is actually tied to the energy and labor needed to build it? Today, we're diving deep into the hidden costs behind every vehicle, starting with the basics: energy and labor. We'll break down what you're really paying for, how automation could change everything, and what it means for the future of work and society. Let's start by looking at the assembly plant floor, where the journey of your car truly begins. On the assembly plant floor, automakers pay for the electricity and natural gas that power stamping presses, welding robots, and paint booths. These direct utility costs are surprisingly small, just 1% to 2% of your car's retail price, or about $200 to $400 on a $20,000 vehicle. While this might sound insignificant, it's only a fraction of the total energy story. The rest is hidden further up the supply chain, where raw materials are mined and components are manufactured. Let's follow the energy trail upstream. Real energy cost of building a car is embedded in the supply chain. Before parts even reach the assembly line, energy is consumed mining iron ore, smelting aluminum, and casting steel. These upstream industrial steps are incredibly power hungry. When you add up all the energy paid for by suppliers, the total energy cost jumps to 4% to 8% of the car's retail price, about $800 to $1,600 for a $20,000 car. This embedded energy is a crucial, often overlooked part of the vehicle's true cost. Let's recap the energy cost breakdown for a typical $20,000 car. Direct factory energy paid by the automaker is 1% to 2%, or $200 to $400. Upstream supply chain energy paid by material suppliers adds another 3% to 6%, or $600 to $1,200. Combined, the total energy cost is 4% to 8% of the retail price. This breakdown helps us see how much energy is truly embedded in every vehicle, setting the stage for understanding labor costs next. Now let's shift to labor. Direct hands-on labor at the final assembly plant accounts for roughly 5% to 10% of your car's retail price, about $1,000 to $2,000 on a $20,000 vehicle. These are the wages, benefits, and healthcare paid to workers who physically assemble the car. But just like with energy, this is only part of the story. There's a much larger labor force working behind the scenes, from engineers to logistics workers. Beyond the factory floor, a significant portion of a car's price goes toward corporate and overhead labor. This includes engineers, designers, legal teams, HR, and marketing. Advanced research and development alone can make up about 10% of the total vehicle cost. These white-collar roles are essential for innovation, safety, and compliance, and their salaries are built into the final price you pay. It's like energy, labor is embedded throughout the supply chain. Workers at steel mills, electronics factories, and logistics companies all contribute to the final product. This upstream labor adds another 10% to 15% to the car's retail price, about $2,000 to $3,000. When you combine direct, corporate, and supply chain labor, total cumulative labor costs reach 20% to 35% of the car's price. Summarize: direct factory labor accounts for 5% to 10% of the car's price, corporate overhead labor adds another 5% to 10%, and upstream supply chain labor contributes 10% to 15%. Altogether, labor makes up 20% to 35% of the total cost, or $4,000 to $7,000 on a $20,000 car. This breakdown highlights just how much human effort is built into every vehicle, even before considering automation. But if we could automate every step of car production, in a best-case scenario where humans are 100% removed from the process, the price of a $20,000 car could theoretically drop by 15% to 25%, landing between $15,000 and $17,000. But it's not as simple as just cutting labor costs. Automation brings its own set of expenses, from advanced robotics to increased energy consumption. Eliminating human labor means erasing salaries, healthcare, and HR costs, but running a fully automated supply chain creates expensive new overheads. Robots require massive amounts of electricity, and maintaining advanced AI systems is costly. The energy cost component could rise well above today's 4% to 8% benchmark, and capital depreciation for robotics and infrastructure becomes a major factor. Even with perfect automation, some costs can't be eliminated. Raw materials like steel, aluminum, and lithium still make up 45% to 50% of the car's price. Factory real estate, tooling, and dealership logistics each add about 10%. These hard costs are dictated by the physical realities of manufacturing and can't be automated away. Real savings from automation come from efficiency. AI can optimize part design, reducing material use by up to 20% without sacrificing strength. Zero-waste manufacturing and predictive maintenance minimize downtime. Factories can run 24/7 in darkness at full capacity, slashing build times and overhead costs. These gains are why automation is so attractive to manufacturers. Let's look at a theoretical cost breakdown for a fully automated dark factory. Raw materials might drop from $9,500 to $8,000 thanks to AI optimization. Labor costs fall to zero, but robotics, AI, and tech costs surge from $1,000 to $4,500. Energy costs rise and factory overhead drops. The total price could fall to $15,500, a 22.5% saving. But will you actually pay less? Even if manufacturing costs drop, automakers might not pass all the savings to consumers. Automotive profit margins are thin, typically 5% to 10%. If a company automates everything, they may keep much of the savings to pay off debts from buying new technology or simply boost profits. The price you pay at the dealership might not fall as much as the production cost. Why would automakers and governments pursue full automation despite the risks? The answer lies in global competition. If one company or country automates and others don't, the automated producer can make cars faster, cheaper, and more consistently. Those who don't automate risk bankruptcy. It's a classic prisoner's dilemma: adapt or disappear. From an operational standpoint, human labor introduces risk. Robots don't strike, get sick, or need breaks. Automation means no delays, perfect quality control, and the ability to reshore factories back home, avoiding tariffs and trade wars. For companies, these are powerful incentives to automate, even if it means social upheaval. Automation unlocks a level of scalability and speed that humans can't match. Software updates can instantly change how every robot in the world works. Factories can ramp up or slow down production with a click, without hiring or firing thousands of workers. This flexibility is a game changer for manufacturers facing unpredictable markets. Here's the catch: even if costs drop, corporations may choose to keep prices high, pocketing the difference as profit. This could push profit margins from 8% to 25%. The influx of cash benefits executives and shareholders, but leaves consumers and workers out of the equation. The economic paradox of automation is that what's rational for a company can be disastrous for society. If every industry automates to save money, they risk destroying the consumer base. Robots don't buy cars, eat out, or pay mortgages. A fully automated economy could produce perfect, cheap products for a population that can't afford to buy them. This is the heart of the automation paradox. Efficiency gains can undermine the very market they're meant to serve. Transition to a post-labor society isn't just an economic challenge, it's a social crisis. Humans need work for more than just money. It provides identity, structure, and meaning. When labor disappears, so does the social scaffolding that holds communities together. History shows that when jobs vanish, the result is often despair, addiction, and social decay. You don't have to imagine what happens when automation or economic shifts erase jobs. The American Rust Belt and parts of the UK lived through this in the late 20th century. The loss of manufacturing jobs led to multi-generational collapse, spikes in divorce, crime, and addiction. Economists call these deaths of despair. The lesson is clear: losing work means losing purpose. Psychologists call the sense of flourishing through challenge eudaimonia. When all material needs are met by automation, the drive to strive disappears. Without meaningful work, many people experience existential boredom, which can lead to radicalism, crime, and substance abuse. The 24-hour party is a myth. Humans need purpose, not just comfort. 100% welfare state, where everyone is supported by automated wealth, faces a tax crisis. Governments rely on income and sales taxes from workers. If humans don't earn wages, tax revenue collapses. Funding a total welfare state would require near-total taxation of corporations, which they would fiercely resist. The result could be hyper-centralized wealth and widespread dependence. Humans lose their role in survival, evolutionary and social drives atrophy. The detachment from real accomplishment can lead to widespread depersonalization and social fragmentation. If society can't provide meaning, the risk of anarchy and mental illness rises. This is the existential threat of unchecked automation. Even knowing the risks, nations may feel compelled to automate to stay competitive. If one country bans advanced AI and robotics to protect jobs, it risks economic obsolescence. The rival that automates wins the global race. This is the tragedy of the commons. Everyone runs toward the cliff to avoid being left behind. If AI can create perfect duplicates of anything, the concept of authenticity collapses. When a Bubba chair can be atom for atom replicated, the line between real and fake disappears. This leads to a crisis of trust. If nothing can be verified as genuine, society enters a state of permanent suspicion and doubt. To combat perfect counterfeiting, society may turn to total surveillance and digital verification. Every object's provenance would be tracked by blockchain or quantum encryption. While this could restore trust, it creates a dystopian tech panopticon, a world where everything is monitored to prove it's real. If physical objects lose all value due to perfect replication, status and pride will shift to experiences. You won't brag about owning a painting, you'll brag about being present when it was created. The value moves from material possessions to unique, non-replicable moments in time. Fraud is undetectable and everything is replicable. Society risks falling into apathy. When people can't create anything uniquely valuable or trust what's real, motivation collapses. The result could be a world of perfect, infinite objects inhabited by a deeply detached and depressed population. Is there an alternative? Star Trek offers a hopeful vision. In the 24th century, material needs no longer exist. The challenge, as Captain Picard says, is to improve yourself, to enrich yourself, and to enjoy it. The acquisition of wealth is no longer the driving force. Self-actualization and learning are. But even in Star Trek lore, humanity had to endure a dark period before reaching utopia. Earth went through war, crime, and anarchy, the post-atomic, realizing the need for a new philosophical foundation. The lesson: a post-labor society requires not just technology but a deep cultural transformation. To avoid chaos, we must start preparing now. Schools, governments, and professions need to shift focus. Education should move away from training for jobs that AI will do better and toward teaching what it means to be human: philosophy, emotional resilience, and adaptability. The sooner we start, the smoother the transition. Governments must rethink infrastructure and safety nets. Pilot programs for universal basic income and universal basic services should be tested now. Legislators need technical literacy to anticipate and regulate disruptive technologies before they reshape society. Proactive planning is essential for a stable transition. Tech leaders like Elon Musk hold immense power over the future. Their breakthroughs must be balanced with ethical and democratic frameworks to ensure automation serves everyone, not just a wealthy few. The debate is about finding the right balance between private innovation and the public good. History shows that when technology outpaces cultural adaptation, the result is suffering. The Luddite riots of the 19th century weren't about hacking machines, they were about the pain of sudden transition. Today's tools are exponentially more powerful, so the stakes are higher. Starting the dialogue now is our only buffer. Today, only 30% to 48% of college graduates find meaningful, degree-appropriate work in their first year after graduation. Over half are underemployed, working jobs that don't require a degree. This disconnect highlights the urgent need to rethink education and career pathways in the face of automation. Your field of study matters. STEM majors have lower underemployment rates, while liberal arts and performing arts see much higher rates. Completing paid internships during college dramatically improves the odds of finding appropriate work. Practical experience is becoming as important as academic credentials. While 80% of graduates say purpose is important, less than half find meaningful work right after college. The traditional academic path is narrowing, leaving many waiting years to find a role that matches their training and sense of purpose. This purpose gap is a critical challenge for the next generation. One solution is to create a funnel path for underemployed college graduates into the new system we're building. By channeling their energy and skills into a parallel society focused on human betterment, we can turn a vulnerable group into pioneers of the post-labor future. This approach requires everyone to pitch in and support the transition. The idea is to fund a network of acolytes, underemployed graduates who are supported by a trust funded by surplus corporate and individual wealth. In exchange for economic freedom, they dedicate their lives to human flourishing, community optimization, and self-mastery. They don't work for a paycheck but for the betterment of society. Acolytes would be deployed across society, in education, healthcare, ecology, and governance. They would provide high-empathy mentorship, emotional support, and ethical oversight roles that robots can't naturally fulfill. This parallel infrastructure would gradually transform society from within, modeling a new way of living. Transition unfolds in phases. First, underemployed grads are rescued and funded. Next, acolytes are injected into all social niches. Finally, the parallel system outgrows the old economy, leading to a full societal shift. This gradual viral conversion avoids the trauma of sudden revolution and builds a stable foundation for the future. Over generations, children raised in acolyte-run schools will see the new mindset as normal. The urge to hoard material wealth fades and the old economic model atrophies. The parallel system becomes dominant because it's safer, happier, and more stable. This is how a multi-generational shift can reshape society. To prove the concept, the first pilot program could focus on a specific niche, like restructuring elementary education, transforming healthcare, or running automated ecological farms. By demonstrating success in one area, the Acolyte Network can build momentum and inspire broader adoption across society. Post-labor future is coming whether we're ready or not. By starting now, restructuring education, reforming government, and channeling underemployed talent, we can build a society where automation serves humanity, not the other way around. The challenge is to enrich ourselves, our communities, and our world. The time to act is today.